Hi, and welcome back to Jay's Creative Corner. Today I'm doing something different. I'm drawing Snow White in 6 different art styles. Before I reveal which each one is going to be, I wonder whether you can guess which one it is. I'm at the point of my art journey where I really want to challenge myself. Something you may or may not know about me is that I don't draw from imagination. It is something over the last year since I've started this channel that I'm really trying to challenge myself on. I would personally say that my art skills when copying have strengthened to a point where I like my artwork. But because I don't see in clear images in my mind, drawing from imagination has always been particularly hard for me. So although I did use some references for ideas, I didn't copy the references point blank. I studied the different art forms, the different ways in which their eyes, their expressions, their hair might fall, and formulated my own ideas. So this project, although many things went wrong along the way, it was such a huge significant win for me. Now the first one's done, which one do you think the first one is? Of course, it is classic Snow White in the Disney style. What about this one? Can you tell me what this one is without me telling you? Write it in the comments before I say it. Also, voicing over on the videos is new to me too. I do this way more on my therapist channel because by trade I'm actually a psychotherapist. But I've realised the art channels that I often follow because of their personality, as well as their talent. And if people want to listen to me in silence, they can just turn me right down. What style do you think this one is? I think it needs no introduction. I also learned when I was doing that one, that even when the characters aren't dead, I realised that a lot of his theme is death. This one I think turned out really cute. However, I do agree with my son's reflection of it. He said it looks more like cartoon style. And that is not what I was going for. But I'm not necessarily disappointed in that either. I still think it looks really cute. I love the eyes on this one. Something else that I promised myself that I would do when I was creating this video is not delete all the errors that I made. White pen is literally my best friend in this project. In particular for this one because it required so much more detail. You can already see under the eye where I begin to highlight it in white. And I begin to work with the facial structure and change it many times. The main reason I keep this in is because it's a lesson that I always say to clients, but also that I say to my children, and also have to remind myself of, which is, the greatest don't get there by just being perfect from the get-go. We often don't see the journey that it takes for somebody to get good at something. It's totally okay to make mistakes. In fact, the quickest way to success is to fail faster. We can only navigate those uncomfortable spaces, those things we get wrong, if we are willing to get them wrong. Me personally, I actually learn so much more from what goes wrong than what goes right. I'm not the perfect artist, and anybody who is watching this still at this point might either be way ahead of me in my art journey or maybe even behind me on my art journey. And that is totally okay. I follow art channels that have very different trajectory, some where their realism is just unbelievable, it looks like photos. And some who are just creatively outletting through their channel. And they're not about being perfect, but I love that. So here is the finished product. Have you guessed it? Because I'm going to reveal it now. Working from the top left across. So, the first one is classic Disney. The second one is anime. The third one is Tim Burton. The last one is Adventure Time. This one is realism. And the bottom left was Snow White as a baby.